Right now, Vancouver condo prices are looking pretty appealing. They're probably at the lowest we've seen in the last few years. But here's the thing, just because prices are down doesn't mean it's a good buy. In fact, some condos are actually ticking time bombs. They look cheap today, but will cost you hundreds of thousands tomorrow. And in this video, I'm breaking down the 5 types of condos in Vancouver that I would not recommend you buy, unless you like burning through your savings. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sasha Hahn. I'm a top 10% realtor here in Vancouver, and I've helped buyers and sellers navigate one of the most competitive, emotional, and confusing real estate markets in the country. I moved here from Ottawa, so I know what it's like to come in fresh, not understand the nuances of this market, and risk making costly mistakes. That's why I create these videos to help you cut through the noise and see Vancouver market for what it really is, so you can make smarter real estate decisions. Let's start with the big one, leaky condos. You've been in Vancouver real estate for any amount of time, you've heard about the leaky condo crisis. In the late 80s and 90s, we had this huge wave of poorly built buildings. They didn't have the right rain screening for Vancouver's wet climate. The result, water intrusion, mold, rot, and millions of dollars in damages. Now, the government did step in and many buildings have been remediated. But here's the kicker, not all of them. There are still buildings out there that haven't done the full fix. They've done partial work, but not the full envelope. And if you buy into one of those, you're essentially buying into a building that you can guarantee there's going to be high special levies, or unless it has a huge contingency reserve fund, either way, you can expect a lot of work on the building. I'll give you an example. One of my clients sent me a 2-bedroom condo in Burnaby listed at $550K. Stunning photos inside, looked like a steal. But when I pulled up the depreciation report, it showed upcoming building envelope repairs, projected at $10 million plus. The special levy per unit was around $80K. That steal turned into a financial nightmare. And that $80K would have to be paid out of pocket. So how do you spot these? Look at the year built. Anything from 80s to 90s is suspect. Then dig into the strata minutes and depreciation reports. If you see talk of envelope repairs, water ingress, or investigating cladding options, some red flags. Unless it's been fully done with, warranties, I'd have a second thought about it. Next up, strata docs. Let's talk low contingency reserve funds. Buildings with low contingency reserve funds, think of it like building's piggy bank, or also known as a CRF. It's like the savings account for the entire building. When the roof leaks, the parquet membrane cracks, when the elevators need replacement, most of the money comes from that fund and special levies. Now, here's where people get burned. Some buildings are chronically underfunded. They like to keep low strata fees to attract buyers, but that just kicks the can down the road. Eventually, when something big breaks, and trust me, it always does, the owners get a massive bill, and that is no fun at all. Here's an actual case. A building in North Van needed about $5 million in parquet membrane replacement. Their CRF was only about $200,000. That's like having $200 in your savings account, and your car blows up. So each owner got hit with a special levy of around $50K. So when you're looking at a condo, don't just ask about the unit. Ask about the building's financial health. If the CRF is weak, you are the CRF. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather keep that money in my own investments, not throw it at emergency building repairs. Number 3, we have high insurance building premiums. So high insurance premiums, this one really took off after 2019. We saw strata insurance rates skyrocket across Lower Mainland. Some buildings had deductibles jump from $10 to $250K overnight. Now, why does this matter? Because if your building has an insurance claim, say a pipe bursts and floods multiple units, the insurance company might refuse to cover it, or they'll hit you with a massive deductible. Either way, you end up paying. One building in Burnaby had a water leak that caused $300K in damages. Owners just assumed the insurance would cover it. Nope, the deductible was $250 and the strata had to levy owners to cover it. So when you're buying, look at the Form B, look at the insurance details. If you see a massive deductible or exclusions like water damage not covered, walk away unless you enjoy gambling with potential levies in the future. 4th on the list, we have condos in bad locations. Now, I'm not just talking about being close to transit or shops. I mean units that are practically unlivable because of their immediate environment. I have seen condos literally shaking from SkyTrain noises. I've seen units right above nightclubs where you can hear bass until 3 a.m. I've seen places jammed up against bridges with nonstop traffic. Sure, you might save on the initial sticker price on the purchase, But try selling it later, most buyers won't even consider it. And if you're stuck, unless you take a loss. Lifestyle totally matters, and in Vancouver, where people pay a premium for livability, the wrong location will tank your investment. Now, number 5, let's talk obsolete floor plans. You know the ones, dens marketed as bedrooms with no windows, massive hallways that eat 15% of your square footage, kitchens that feel like closets. So when the market's hot, people totally overlook this. They're just desperate to get in. But in a slower market, those units are first to sit. And when buyers do come, they're negotiating hard. I had a client in Yaletown looking at a 2-bed plus den on paper. It was 1,000 square feet, sounds great. But 200 of that was the hallway. The living room was tiny, the den was barely a closet, and that unit sat for 90 days while better layouts in the same building sold in 10 to 15 days. So when you're evaluating condos, don't just look at the total square footage, look at how it's used. Layout drives livability, and livability drives your resale. Don't forget you make your money on your purchase, not when you sell. All right, guys, so here's the bottom line. Yes, prices are down, there are opportunities, but if you buy in the wrong condo, you're not investing, you're gambling, and the house always wins. Smart buyers don't just look for cheap, they look for value, and that means solid buildings, healthy finances, good layouts, and location that people actually want to live in. So if you're thinking about buying a condo in Vancouver right now, here's what I'd want you to do. Drop the name of the building you're considering in the comments, and I'll reply with a quick 60-second overlook of it. And if you want my weekly buy box, the neighborhood guides, and price points where buyers are actually have leverage, hit the link in the description or text me directly. And hey, if you find this at all helpful, hit the subscribe button to the channel, because every week we're breaking down the Vancouver market in real time, no fluff, no fear mongering, just the truth about where the smart money is moving.